As we proceed, in the last episode, we saw Cain's offering rejected and in a moment of anger, his brother Abel slain. Now in today's passage, we read of another son being born into the family, a replacement for Abel, and the start of a new line reaching all the way to Jesus. So let's dive in. Adam had relations with his wife again, and she gave birth to another son. She named him Seth, for she said, "God has granted me another child in place of Abel, whom Cain unalived." When Seth grew up, he had a son and named him Enosh. At that time, people first began to worship the Lord by name. So what does it mean for us today that Adam and Eve had another son? Well, first, it shows us that out of loss, God brought renewal. Abel was gone, Cain was banished, but hope was not lost. Through Seth, a new line began. Second, this new line is described as worshiping the Lord by name. And this tells us two things. First, true worshippers will call on the name of the Lord. And second, true worship only begins with a knowledge of God's name, which points us to the gospel in the garden. Adam and Eve didn't know God's name. They were only vaguely aware of a God who walked in the garden, but after the fall, there was a radical shift. Worship of God was no longer something that came naturally. It now required a knowledge of God revealed through his name. And the first mention of God's name occurs right here in our passage. It is significant because from this point forward, the knowledge of God's name is passed down through the generations until finally revealed in Jesus. And so through Seth, a new line began, not defined by violence, but by worship. And in the days of Enosh, men and women lifted their voices, calling on the name of the Lord. From here, the line of faith would grow, a thread of hope running through the generations, leading all the way to the Redeemer. And so we see the story doesn't end with Cain, but moves forward through Seth, the new beginning, the new line. And this gives us hope that even when sin seems to triumph, God always provides a new beginning. His plan cannot be broken. Next time on The Biggest Story Ever, we will trace the generations of Adam, a lineage that stretches from the garden toward the flood, revealing the story of mankind's first families. Will you join us then? This is setting to be the biggest story ever, as you have already know it. God bless you, and remember, only Jesus can save you. Shalom.